Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Black Revolutionary Theater Workshop's Melanated Mondays program. As always, my name is Bianca, and I will be your MC for the evening. For August's show, we have three pieces written by BRTW's community members, along with a community conversation. Before we jump into programming, though, I want to take some time to tell you who we are and what we're doing this month, starting with our mission statement. BRTW exists to disrupt any and all oppressive systems that marginalize Black people using narrative and performance as a methodology to recenter Black people and experiences. With economic, social, educational, healthcare, housing, and political injustice facing our community, BRTW aims to tackle the issues that impact us while becoming a beacon for Black opportunity within the arts. Melanated Mondays are a monthly writing and performance salon highlighting a different theme at the intersection of Black justice and civic engagement. This month's theme is storytelling. In Prose to the People, a celebration of Black bookstores, Katie Mitchell includes a quote from Martin Sostre, owner of the Afro-Asian bookstore in Buffalo, New York, that truly struck me when I was thinking about this month's show. Martin says, "Nothing disappears in this world. Either it lies dormant, awaiting the propitious moment to manifest itself, or it manifests itself in different forms and manners. Once an act or thought is set in motion, nothing can stop it." Whether it be through images, the written word, or oral stories, Black people have passed down their history for as long as we've been around. From entire countries to family units, we each have our own ways of capturing what we deem important for those who come after us to know. In today's show, we will explore how and what we choose to pass along. Our first piece is Morning Star by C.J. Stewart. Papa Legba will be played by Sidi, Robert will be played by Dekai, and stage directions will be read by Calvin.
The Mississippi Crossroads. A crossing street sign stands in the middle of a barren stage. The sign says Highway 61 and Highway 49. The stage is an intersection of two dirt highways. Whispers and prayers are heard throughout the performance space. They are prayers to Papa Legba, who is sleeping under the sign. Papa Legba is an old spiritual deity that is a gatekeeper of life and death. He carries all known communications. He has a walking stick and is wearing a straw hat. It is the middle of a windy day. The wind is carrying something that is unspoken, but Papa Legba knows, and the wind knows him. He wakes up.
Welcome. This is mine. All mine I'm taking back. All the music that's made is dressed in black, so the birth of the blues is where we start. And I will wait at the crossroads and play my part as the soul spirit medium, a voodoo deity, keeping the truth from folks, tuning the notes of history. How many of y'all ever been filled with the blues? The feeling came before the music, and that music we are here to discover through someone I've been waiting on. He is a messenger of feeling who transcended this pain through the unknown, defying all odds and reinventing the style along the Mississippi Delta. He should be arriving now.
A horn sound blares through the air and summons Robert Johnson. He is in his early 30s and is very particular. He carries a blues he has yet to discover on his back.
Why you look all riled and whatnot? You just going to ignore me, young fella?
I'll show him.
Show who?
Son House and Willie Brown.
Oh, them fellas that play the blues all through Mississippi.
You know him?
My vocabulary pretty long when it comes to the blues. I'm guessing you play?
Thought I did. They kicked me out talking about I was in there noising and carrying on. People say they like my playing.
Play something for me. Go on now. Blues artists ain't shy. I got a nickel if you play good.
Robert plays his guitar. He isn't very good.
And the people say they like that.
That's what I heard in my head. I'll get my nickel.
I said I'd give you a nickel if you was good. That sound like chicken scratch. No wonder they kicked you out. Son House, one of the best guitar players in Mississippi. You can't be trying to play that noise in front of Son House.
I've been playing guitar since I was sucking on my mom's tip. I can't be bad. They never complained on the fields.
Fields is different. People desperate on them fields. Under that Mississippi heat, anything sounds good. You just need some more work.
Do you play?
Papa starts playing along with the music, and it is melodic, almost addicting. He is clearly an expert.
This is mine, all mine. This is mine, all mine.
Can you teach me how to play like that?
It's gonna cost you.
How much?
Life without nothing means everything.
What, you talking my life?
I can teach you to play like me. Hell, even better, but you gotta understand that if you looking for fame, it comes with the price.
Life is a gamble, a struggle to get by. If I never learn, how can I ever fly? I gotta show 'em. It's the only way. I have to learn it all and be something someday. So I'm asking, can you teach me?
They don't know you.
Which I want to know.
Everything. I know you just got here, Robert, but we will get back to you. Here's how this all started. In Depression, Mississippi, where folks had no money and no place to go, dealing with the traumas of life and Jim Crow. Mrs. Julia Dodds may know something about that.
Thank you guys so much. Our next piece is entitled Oral Record and was written by Cyril Amanfo. It will be read by Tatiana.
There's a story in me, but see, it's too many pages to write down. The stories of chocolate and light brown, the drowned, and the ever floating. This story ain't got no pen and paper, no once upon a times, no swords and shields, but it's real. It's raw. It's something that you feel. It's etched upon my soul and ever glowing. And this story ain't one story. It's mine and yours and all theirs too. It's rich, it's bold, it's old, it's new, and it can never be rewritten. Because to write it down is to strip its skin, to split its shield, expose its core, to spill its secrets across the floor and lose the light inside them. This story was meant for fuller lips, for teeth with gaps that whistle words, for those who sing to raven birds, who soar and sow our oral seeds. We keep these stories on our tongues, the sea salt swollen tongues below, the sweat stained stricken tongues of those who marched in hope that we'll be free. We keep these stories on our ears, ears that know to listen for that first quail call, ears that know the power of the first rainfall. This is how our story grows. Our history is greater than a spine-bound book. Its pages are equal to the stars in the sky. Its paragraphs limitless, its sentences wide. It's longer than we'll ever know. Oh, it's bruised and it's battered, but only on the surface. Below, it's boisterous, impossible to tame. Beneath, it is thunderous. It calls us by name. Hear it, and for a moment, relive what has passed. Feel the power of a people too proud to bury. Feel the fire that burned our names into earth's soil. Feel the scars and the pain, the tears and the toil. Feel the spirits of those who are made to last. See, our story can't be limited to just one movement. There are some you never heard of who once walked these shores. There are footprints upon footprints that lie underneath yours. There's a song sung to ravens, layered and sweet. This harmony is our legacy, our story of salvation, concentric as history is known to repeat. Resilient, for there was victory in each defeat, a story told through gaps of teeth. We keep these stories on our tongue, the fire-fried tongues of those who preach in pews, the sugar-sour tongues of those who play with nothing to lose. They give our being breath. We keep these stories on our minds, beautiful minds masked with beautiful black skin, beautiful brains with multitudes therein. They give our being hope. This hope is in me. alongside every word of every verse of every song, alongside all who were bold, who were brave, who were strong. It's oral, it's royal, and it is.
Thank you so much, Tatiana. Our last piece is Say Her Name by Aaron Moore. Jasmine will be read by Ev, Dad will be read by Calvin, Mom will be read by Kendra, Narika will be played by Tatiana, Dero will be played by Dekai, and stage directions, Mr. Death, and the Angel of Death will be played by Cyril. Trigger warnings include discussion of death and references to police brutality.
We hear the background noise of a protest. Enter Jasmine. She is standing center stage with the spotlight directly on her.
A kiss on the head, a bottle of orange juice, snow on my face. These were the things that were mine before I died.
Lights up on a blank stage. There we see our main character sitting on stage by herself.
There you are, Wolf. I've been looking all over for you.
Jasmine, sweetheart, it's time to do your hair.
Yo, Jazz. Who's that fine friend of yours? You know, the one with the braids and the jean jacket.
Damn, girl, what happened to you? I see you let your moms do your hair again, huh?
Come on, we gotta be late. By the time we get to the lake, all the big fish gonna be gone. There's only gonna be the little ones.
So I was down at the salon earlier this week, and I saw this one little girl with two big ponytails on each side with a part in the middle. And the first thing I thought was how cute you would look like that.
So you really not gonna give me her number? You interrupting love. Come on, Jazz.
I'm not gonna say anything about your hair because you my girl. And if anyone says anything, I'm gonna beat their ass. But girl, you look like you got to be in the house when the street lights come on. But I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Come on, Wolf. We only gonna catch the little ones.
I got different colored barrettes too. I know you'll like that. Oh, we should take a picture for your grandmother. She'll love it.
Jazz, thank you. I appreciate this. She got it going on.
Listen, when we get to school and I move away from you a little, it's not because of your hair. I want you to know that.
Wolf, you're bleeding, baby. A body was found in a local convenience store this morning.
How could this have happened? No, not my Jasmine. There must be a mistake. The body matches the description of a local black 16-year-old girl. That's not true. Someone must have gotten it wrong.
Not like this. Ain't supposed to be like this. You're my big sister. You're supposed to be here. People in the local community are saying that this has happened a lot, and nothing gets done about it.
What you have gained, you have now lost. And what you have lost, you have now gained. One by one, they all come to me. Pass through my dark and sunken doorway.
Damn, we were supposed to do mad things. The summer ain't even get here. Chaz, this ain't true. It can't be. Police officials quote, "We are doing all we can. We are collecting evidence and making connections to create a motive. This isn't easy for all parties involved. The best thing for folks to do now is to remain calm."
Jasmine.
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 I was there at the beginning, and I shall be at the end. Your story was written eons ago. It's old and done with. Take my hand, Jasmine. Wrap yourself in my coat. Come where I lead you.
It's funny. All the things that were certain have now become weightless. The things that were nailed down around me dissolved into nothing, like they were never there. It all unraveled so easily, this life. My life. In class, Mr. Williams taught us about these white folks a long time ago living in this colony and how they disappeared from the world, just vanished into thin air. Can you believe that? All those people just up and gone? You never even knew they were there. And that was going to happen to me. I was here with all of my things, but they weren't mine anymore. They became a part of the past, just like that. I was everywhere, posters, t-shirts, Oprah, justice for Jasmine. We stand for Jasmine. I became a poster child for violence. Complete strangers saying my name, talking about what type of girl I was. I saw my math teacher crying. Crying? I didn't even think it was possible for her to cry. I knew I was supposed to leave. I was supposed to go on to that great Janet Jackson concert in the sky. But I couldn't leave, knowing all of you had ideas about me that weren't my own. You can't take me without allowing me to leave a true part of myself behind.
Planes, trains, automobiles, boats. I'm there right now, waiting in corners and hospitals, standing behind people in buffet lines, watching folks take that long drag out of their cigarettes. Hell, I'm talking to William Shakespeare, Frederick Douglass, and Genghis Khan right now. They're bargaining with me. A little more time, please. Everyone wants more time. All of you bargain, but none of you know. And now here you are.
You need to know more than my pain. You need to know what I dreamed of, what I wanted. I wanted to do so many things, and now that's been taken away.
I get it.
You do?
You feel cheated.
I do? I mean, I do. I feel cheated.
The victim of your own circumstance, is that right?
That's right.
Tell them, Jasmine. Make them listen to you.
I wanted to be in Paris, riding on the back of somebody's scooter. Like in the books my mom reads, find a lost city in the rainforest, go backstage at a Janet Jackson concert, meet Janet Jackson, go to another country and find myself like white women do in the movies, yell from a mountaintop, see the sun fall below trees instead of apartment buildings, to stomp my feet in a land I've never been before and claim it as my own, to dance on stage in a theater full of people. I want to worry about finding the right outfit for prom. I want to go to the mall with Narika and not buy nothing, get into a fight with my brother while we watching TV. I want to sit at my mama's feet and feel her hands in my hair. I want to watch my daddy work on the car because he thinks he's a mechanic.
What do you want?
I want a stage so the world can see me. I want speakers so tall you can see them from space. Oh, y'all gonna hear me. I want costumes and colors and music and dancing.
And
Somebody took something from me. Somebody took something from me.
lights.
A motherfucker decided a long time ago, before they even met me, that he had the power to take from me.
Sound.
From girls like me. They were dedicated to snatching voices, putting them up on shelves like collector items. They were given power.
For one night only. You all shall be blessed with the telling of an amazing young performer. You'll laugh, you'll cry, and everything else in between. She'll mystify you, captivate you, keep you on the edge of your seats. Watch how she raises her hands and shouts to the world, "Hear me!"
That was supposed to belong to me. My family and all the other people that came before me was going to crown me with.
Showtime.
And I want it back. Before I go anywhere, you are going to see all of me. You are going to see me with my power. I'm ready, Mr. Death.
Where to start? Oh, I know. In the beginning.
Thank you all so much. That ends our theatrical segment of Melanated Mondays. But our next moment will be our community conversation. Before we jump into that, we're going to take a little break and then jump right back into it. All right, everybody, we are back this time with Katie Mitchell. Katie, how are you feeling today?
I'm good. I really enjoyed the program so far.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for joining and watching. Um, Before we jump into our community conversation, I just want to read your bio just so that the folks at home can know a little bit more about you.
Okay.
Katie Mitchell is a storyteller and bookseller based in Atlanta. Her online and pop-up Black bookstore, Good Books, has been featured in stories in the New York Times, NBC, NPR, PBS, and a host of other venues. In 2023, Katie earned a Dorothy Porter Wesley Fellowship from the Bibliographical Society of America in recognition of the on-the-ground research she conducted to write Prose to the People. The New York Times, in its review of the book, notes that the result of Katie's 2 years collecting photographs and testimonials from sellers and patrons alike is both a collage and an encyclopedia of Black art and Black pride, a timeline of activism, a reading list, and even a soundtrack to accompany it all. Not since Toni Morrison's The Black Book has a book combined Black history and Black memory so deftly in its pages, not just as a matter of documentation, but as a matter of the reading experience itself. Katie, wow, this is quite the bio. Do you have anything to add that you want to share with folks at home just to say a little bit more about you?
Yeah, I am, like I said, based in Atlanta, been doing this storytelling Black book thing for a while. And Prose really grows out of just the love of Black literature and Black people.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for being here. Let's jump into the conversation.
Okay.
I would say my first question is for those who haven't read the book, I would describe Prose to the People as a collection of poetry, essays, and just telling of culturally significant Black bookstores across the country. Katie, can you talk to us about your journey as a reader and then also what inspired you to write this book?
Yeah, my journey as a reader started as a young child. My mother made sure that me and my brother were surrounded by Black books. Growing up in the 90s, it was a little bit harder to get those books, but she
Mm,
made sure the house was full of them. Um, and then just as a customer of Black bookstores, I saw how transformative they are. And I see Black bookstores as transformative as the Black church or Black
mm,
colleges, but I found that they were understudied. And I found it deeply ironic that the Black bookstore hadn't had their story told in book form because Black bookstores hold our stories and no one had told their story yet in this
mm,
way. And so I wanted for Prose to be, a corrective to that, and put the stories of these bookstores in one volume so people can explore them. I have bookstores from all the way back to the 1830s to present
mm,
day. So
mm.
wanting people to be able to see the arc of the Black bookstore.
That's awesome. It's really cool. And then speaking of, prose contains like such a beautiful mixture of like quotes from the shop owners and then topical poems and essays as well as images from the stores themselves and significant items that you kind of discuss within the book. When I was reading, I found it really hard to wrap my head around like how you would select what specific shops and then also what specific images and kind of what vignettes from folks that you've spoken to. So just can you walk us through what that writing process was for you and like how you determined what you would conclude and what you would include and what you wouldn't include?
Yeah, so when I pitched the book, it was very different because I didn't have all the knowledge that I had while I was researching. So in
Mhm.
some instances, bookstores would like find me in the archives. It's like, oh, I'm in this book. You put me in this book. And, I'm from the South and I hadn't been to LA before I did this book. And LA really surprised me with their Black bookstores. So there were a couple of bookstores that I had no idea existed. And still, I started doing the research and I was like, oh, yeah, like the LA section has to be a bit bigger because these are really important stores that I just didn't know about.
Mhm,
And I ventured to think most people didn't know about them.
mhm,
Um, but what I did was I had an outline of the stories that I wanted, reached out to folks if the store was still open and if the owners were still alive, reached out to them and got their stories. So did like some oral history work. And then for the stores that don't exist and that the owner and people who may have been there are past, so like the store that started in the 1830s, like no one is alive that went to that
mhm,
store, right? So you have to go into the archives. So I spent time at the Schomburg. I spent time, which is in Harlem. I spent time at the Newberry in Chicago, Auburn Avenue Research Library here in Atlanta. And was just in the stacks that way and looking for stuff. Also, Emory Rose Library in Atlanta has a great archive that I was able to use. So, a mix of talking to people and then looking in the archives and then just seeing like which stores had enough information about them where I could tell an interesting story. Because what I didn't want to happen is be like, this is a bookstore. They sold books and they had events
Right,
and
right.
it's monotonous. So I wanted like these really standout moments to shine through. So if the person had that, then they were able to get in that, or if I was able to find that in the archives, like really what made the store special, like who was in there. I wanted the reading experience of Prose to the People to mimic what it was like to be in a Black bookstore. So when you walk into a Black bookstore, you see all the art, you see the covers, there's different genres, you're hearing from a lot of different people. So that's why Prose to the People is an anthology with a lot of pictures, because that's what it feels like to me when you walk into a Black bookstore. It's not just one person telling the story of the Black bookstore, it's all of us.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much. And then just as you were speaking, I was seeing little images of all the Black bookstores that I've been in before. So thank you so much for that like deep and thorough and like kind of multi-hyphenate way of going about writing this book. I think that's really remarkable.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And then I guess my last question would be, what advice would you give adults who are looking to rekindle their love of reading or writers who are looking to find their voice?
Yeah, for readers, I think one thing I love about books is there's a book about everything. So
True.
whatever you're interested in, there's a book about it. And I think maybe sometimes when we're like growing up and in school, reading is kind of seen as a chore, like, oh, you're in trouble, go sit
Hmm.
in the corner, read. But
Hmm.
there's so many things that you're interested in. Like I just read this book all about Black archives. And I was loving it. And I was like, I love this book. This book seems like it was written just for me to read. And I think there's so many books like that out there. And sometimes it is hard to find. But just going to the library and talking to a librarian and saying, this is what I'm interested in will work wonders, because there's a whole system where all the books and what they're all about are right there to help you out. Um, and for writers finding their voice, I think it does go back to reading as well. I don't think you can be a good writer without reading and catching the rhythms of what you like. And sometimes when you're trying to find your voice, you have to mimic other people's voice that you really admire and enjoy their work, so you can see what's working and what's not. So it all goes back to reading.
Yeah, yeah. Read a book, guys. Everybody go and read a book. Thank you so much, Katie. Those were all the questions that I have. And before I open it up to the community, I just want to say this is truly, truly such a wonderful book. Everybody go out and buy Prose to the People. The full title is Prose to the People, A Celebration of Black Bookstores. Um, Truly, truly such wonderful work. I'm going to open it up to anybody who's still here for questions, thoughts. Feel free to unmute and turn your camera on.
Hi, I'm Calvin. It's wonderful to hear you speak. Um, I'm curious what your hopes are for the future of Black bookstores or Black storytelling in general.
For Black bookstores, I would love for them to continue on this path. Throughout the book, I talk about kind of the booms and busts of Black bookstores. So it kind of goes in alignment with movement. So the civil rights movement, the Black arts movement, the first bookstore started during the abolitionist movement. And so right now, um, I think we're kind of in a time where we were just in a boom after 2020, and bookstores are trying to figure out what are they going to do now. But I would love to see them like stay the course and stay independent, um, and think of new possibilities. So there's a bookstore out in Oakland that's like a books vending machine. So, the rent is high and they're doing like these creative things so that they can still bring books to their communities. And I think that's really cool. There's another bookstore in LA that's a cooperative where all the owners own the bookstore, and it's not just one owner with employees, which I think is really important. And I would love to see that model replicated other places too. Um, and Black storytelling, I think we're in a really great place with Black storytelling. There's a lot of really good fiction out right now. I am like going in the backlist reading a lot of stuff. And I think just like being cognizant of like there's so much Black storytelling. It's not just what's on the top 40 list. It's not just what the New York Times says is good. There's so much good stuff out there that's out of print. So it might take some digging, but it's out there. So I'm excited for people to just like find what they're into, whether it's new or old. Thank you for that question.
Hi, Katie. I have a question. Also, my name is Cyril. I'm wondering, you just talked about bookstores and Black bookstores being in tandem kind of with history and all these different movements. And I'm wondering, like now and where we are, is there a topic or an idea that you feel like needs the attention of Black artists, Black writers, and Black bookstores in general?
I don't know if there's one topic. What I found when writing the book was that Black bookstores were really, they really aligned themselves with incarcerated people, which I found to be unique from other retail establishments. Um, and there were across the board, it was like, so the book is broken up into geographical sections, but I found like in every geographical location, there are bookstores that were really making sure that people who were incarcerated were being taken care of. And you're not going to find that like at a grocery store, a clothing store. Like it's the bookstore that is, sending books, putting money on people's commissary, giving them jobs once they get out of prison. And I think it was like a boom in the 90s, like the book and Locking Up Our Own and like the mass incarceration, the new Jim Crow. That was really important. Right now we see stuff going on with immigration and, you know, um, our Caribbean brothers and sisters who are in this country who are getting targeted by ICE. So I think Black bookstores do a good job of responding to what's going on. But unfortunately, there's so much going on that there's not just one thing that they're responding to, but they're doing a good job of being, a place where people can gather and a place where people can learn about the issues that are going on.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for that question.
These are really wonderful questions. Does
I
anybody
know.
have another? I have one, I fear, that I came up with just now. I'm wondering, what is your favorite bookstore and why is it your favorite?
That's an interesting one. I get that a lot, and then people are like, "Oh, you probably don't want to tell me what your favorite one is." Like, oh. So there's one in Atlanta that I really love called For Keeps.
Hmm.
They're on Auburn Avenue, which is the same street that Martin Luther King's childhood home is on, and they have like antiquarian and vintage books. And I just love a used book.
Sure.
Um, and what I love about them is that they have books that are literally like from the Harlem Renaissance. Like Langston Hughes probably held this book in his hand. And anyone can come and read these books. They have a reading table where none of the books are for sale. Um, and people can really interact with it. And it's not, um, the richest person gets this really rare book and like it's at their house forever. So I really like that one. Um, and there's stores in the book that have closed, and one that I really got to know the owner is called Black Books Plus. They were in the Upper West Side in New York in the 80s and 90s. And the owner, her name's Glenn Johnson. She was a Schomburg librarian.
Hmm.
And she's just like so old school New York and like, old lady who's like bossing me around and telling me what to do. But I just love listening to her stories. Like she has beef with Jesse Jackson and was telling me about Toni Morrison came, and it was like she was so meticulous because she was a librarian, so she had all these notes, and it was like I could just read about everything that was going on in this store during the 90s.
Hmm.
So she was a fun one to learn about. And what I found is there's some stores where they get a lot of attention, they get a lot of praise, and for her store, not that many people had kept it on their radar because she's like a librarian, more quiet, like not a big personality that was always in like the newspapers. So
Hmm.
I was glad I was able to get to know her and tell her story. And the way we found each other was just kind of like I was just telling someone about the project, and they were like, "Oh, like we have the papers for this bookstore owner," and they were trying to be, secretive about it. I was like, "No, tell me." And so there are times when I was writing the book where if like I didn't say this one thing, then it would be completely different, and the store wouldn't be in it, or I wouldn't have gotten this like particular picture that's like in someone's personal, archive.
Hmm.
So I loved how that process went too.
Lovely. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
All
of
right.
course.
I have one. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. And it's been lovely listening to your project and your process and everything like that. And I thought it was really interesting that you said that you found a lot of the Black bookstores had partnerships with incarcerated people and making sure that they had a pathway into integrating back into society. And I was wondering, in the time now that we have where a lot of Southern states in the school curriculum, they're starting to erase Black history or amending it or creating it into something that isn't authentic to the the lived experiences of Black people. Do you see bookstores in those geographic areas standing up to help aid the community and making sure that these stories are being told in their most authentic, most truthful way?
Yeah, definitely. Bookstores all over the country. And I think what is important with like book bans going on right now is that bookstores do not have to comply. And I was telling people, like, you as a private citizen, you don't have to comply to these book bans, like these are bans that like officially target like libraries. They target like military bases, like public school curriculums, things like that. But bookstores are outside of that, and they're able to, have all these banned books. And you as a private citizen, you're able to read these banned books too. And when you look at the books that are being banned, it's like Maya Angelou's "I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings," and when you think about like, well, why are they banning our books? They're banning our books at a, disproportionate rate. And I think it's because of the lessons that we can gain from them and kind of just like the pride that we get from reading these stories that they don't want us to have. And when I was talking to Glenn Johnson from Black Books Plus, she was telling me about an incarcerated customer of hers who sent her a letter and she read it for me. And he said, "My body may be incarcerated, but my mind is free." And I think that's what Black books have the ability to do. They are liberating. And for a country that doesn't want us to be liberated, they're going to ban our books. And these bookstores kind of are standing in that gap, saying, like, no, we're going to still carry these books. We're going to have events around these books. We're going to talk about them and be in community with each other and with these books.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really great questions, truly. Wonderful. Yeah, go ahead.
I know you mentioned a lot of bookstores. You don't have, would you happen to have like a list of all of these, just in case we're like this state or that state?
Yeah. I organized the book by geographic location so people could kind of do a road trip type of thing and go to the bookstores that really speak to them in the book. And then for the bookstores that didn't get a full profile, there's a list in the back of ones that have closed and a list in the back of ones that are still open for folks to go to. And it's also listed by state. So you'll definitely be able to see them. What state are you in?
I'm in New York.
Oh yeah, you have a lot of good ones to go to.
Okay.
I think we have time for maybe one more if anybody has a dying question.
Hi, my name is Ceedie.
Ah,
I'm super excited to be hearing you talk. I just started my master's program in library science, and I've been
oh,
literally on
nice.
a bookstore tour forever. I would love to hear you say again where we can get access to your book. I would love, love, love to read it.
Yeah, it's everywhere. Books are sold. Where are you located?
I'm in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So there's a store called Reparations Club, um, Black bookstore there. There's Malik Books there. Um, in Pasadena, there's Octavia's. So yeah, there's a lot of great Black bookstores in LA. And there's once you get it, you'll find that there's a connection with Black bookstores and libraries too, and librarians. There's a lot of librarians starting Black bookstores or people um, who become librarians after they start their bookstore. So I think you'll really have a good time with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much to everyone who asked a question. And again, Katie, thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate your
Yeah.
time, both today and just all the work that you put into this book. It's truly, truly so beautiful. Again, I recommend everybody go out and get it. It's sold anywhere the books are sold. And I will see you in October for our next Melanated Monday.